In this video, Tesla stock continues its recent run higher. Huge news for Tesla stock investors as Tesla begins first customer deliveries from the brand new Gigafactory in Berlin tomorrow at last. And Elon Musk has a surprising update on Masterplan Part 3 with huge implications, which I'll discuss in this video. So let's get into it. Hey guys, thanks for watching. If you enjoy these videos, there's a bunch of ways you can support the channel, access exclusive content and perks, and get some free stocks and crypto. Check out the links in the pinned comment below. You can get 2 free stocks with WeBull, a free stock with Stake, free Bitcoin with Coinbase, and free Bitcoin with BlockFi, and the BlockFi Bitcoin Rewards credit card. You can also pick up some Tesla, Elon, and investment themed merch in the merch store. If you want to take it to the next level, join thousands of members on Patreon to gain exclusive access to over 100 Q&A videos, loads of exclusive content, exclusive access to my up-to-date 10-year Tesla stock price targets, and even access my Tesla valuation model at the investor support level and above. So check out the links in the pinned comment below, and thanks for your support. First up, Tesla stock continuing its run higher, up 1.74% today, over $15 per share. Just for a tiny bit of perspective, Tesla stock in the last 5 trading days alone up almost 20%. I'm not surprised, and in my opinion, we're just getting started. To provide a little bit of contrast, Apple today up less than 1%, $1.40 per share. Amazon up a mere 0.15%. Alphabet, aka Google, down marginally. Rivian getting destroyed, down close to 5%. Lucid also continuing to fall off a cliff, down over 1%. Fraudstown Motors down almost 1.5%. Government Motors down almost 3%. And press F in the chat for Ford stock, down over 2%. Clearly, we can see Tesla bucking the trend. And next, some super exciting news. Finally, at fucking last, despite all of the bureaucracy, the red tape, the delays, don't get me started. The first customer deliveries, Tesla's Model Ys, made in Berlin at the Berlin Gigafactory, will be delivered to customers tomorrow. This is a huge milestone in the company's history. So here's how things play out. Tesla begins deliveries, they continue to ramp production. Soon after, I don't know, maybe 12, 18, worst case 24 months down the road, Tesla's Model Y will be the best selling vehicle in all of Europe. And after reaching the #1 position, it's just going to continue to sell even more and more. Let me know in the comments below if anyone watching is taking delivery of a Model Y in Berlin tomorrow. And now, some juicy new information from Elon Musk about Masterplan Part 3, which I did not see coming. Quote, main Tesla subjects. Wait a minute, what? Main Tesla subjects. Isn't this the Tesla Masterplan? What? Isn't that a bit redundant? We'll talk more about this in a moment. Main Tesla subjects will be scaling to extreme size, which is needed to shift humanity away from fossil fuels, and AI. These 2 words have serious implications. But I will also include sections about SpaceX, Tesla, and the Boring Company. Okay, we really need to talk about this, but first, ladies and gentlemen, an enormous milestone in the history of me being some guy on the internet who says things and makes predictions about the future. Are you ready? I can't wait for this. I'm so excited. It rarely happens. I was wrong. Completely wrong. Dead fucking wrong. Obnoxious, arrogant, overconfident, and completely wrong. Why? I said Adam Jonas and Morgan Stanley had no idea what they were talking about just a few days ago when they said what they thought they might see in Tesla's Masterplan Part 3. Well, it turns out I was wrong. Oh, it's so good to say that one more time. I was wrong. I'm just relishing in this extremely rare moment. I just want to make sure, absolutely, completely dead fucking wrong. Oh man, it feels so good. Anyway, that being said, we now need to talk about the implications. Let me ask a question. I mean, maybe this is obvious, but let me know what you guys and girls think in the comments below. Is this the Tesla Secret Masterplan Part 3? Or is this Elon Musk's Masterplan Part 3? The reason I ask is because Masterplan Part 3 will include sections about SpaceX, Tesla, and the Boring Company. Do you guys remember the idea of X holding company? Conglomerate, which would include Tesla, SpaceX, the Boring Company, and probably Neuralink as well. There's been a lot of discussion on this. Elon Musk seemed very interested in the idea. I guess there's a few different possibilities, one of which being that this is the Tesla Secret Master Plan. Just so happens there's going to be much tighter synergies between Tesla, SpaceX, and the Boring Company in the future. We already know this is the case, so maybe that's the angle. There may be more than meets the eye. As I mentioned, Elon Musk was very publicly open to the idea of a holding company encapsulating all of his projects, Tesla, SpaceX, Boring Company, and Neuralink. Maybe Masterplan 3 is the first step in that direction. Or as I said, maybe it's just about synergies. Let's elaborate on each of Elon's points. Main Tesla subjects will be scaling to extreme size, which is needed to shift humanity away from fossil fuels. So what does this mean? Well, self-evident. I mean, we all know that this is Tesla's plan anyway. By the end of this decade, Tesla told us at Battery Investor Day, they're aiming for around 3 terawatt hours of battery production, which is absolutely fucking insane. Certainly extreme size. And speaking of extreme size, I guess I should address the elephant in the room, also known as your girlfriend. I'm just kidding. I know you don't have a girlfriend. I meant your mother. Maybe she can give Elon a few tips for scaling to extreme size. We also know that Tesla is aiming to deliver around 20 million vehicles in 2030, just that year. Also extreme size. But we've also known about this for some time. Will we hear any specific, even longer term targets? Maybe Tesla is aiming for 25, 30, 35 plus million electric vehicles at some future date, maybe 2040. Who knows? I suspect that the Masterplan Part 3 will have details about how exactly Tesla reaches extreme scale, and that will include massively driving the price of their products down. Some of this will come through improvements in manufacturing techniques, declining cost curves, and so on. But Tesla is smart. The original plan to help many consumers afford an electric vehicle was to make them fully autonomous so consumers can buy a vehicle and then subsidize the purchase price by sending it out as an autonomous robotaxi to make them money while they sleep. Maybe the sticker price is $40,000, $50,000. But if your car can bring in $10,000, $15,000, $20,000 a year of profits, it will pay for itself within a few years. I expect we'll hear more details and plans about how Tesla can scale their solar, their home batteries, and their automotive business far beyond where they are today and far beyond their currently stated goals. For example, maybe Tesla talks more about having a money printer on your roof, rooftop solar, home battery, plus you can now participate in the energy market, selling excess energy that you're generating yourself for a profit, and also performing energy market arbitrage, pulling power when you're at low rates and reselling that energy back for a profit during peak hours. So there's two components to scaling to extreme size. There's the manufacturing, which Tesla are already experts at mass production and manufacturing, so we don't really need too many more details. We already know Tesla's good at making stuff. In fact, they're better than most at making stuff, and they're able to do so at high volumes and scale to even higher volumes very quickly. So the one piece of the puzzle is manufacturing and actually physically scaling up production of the products. But the other side of the equation, Tesla's products need to be affordable to basically every human on the planet over the long term. I suspect Tesla's Masterplan 3 will be focused more around driving the costs and making their products accessible to everyone rather than saying, oh yeah, we're going to have to build lots of factories and make lots of stuff to reach our goals, because no shit, Sherlock, we already know that part. I suspect we will hear a little bit more about the machine that makes the machine, but the focus of how Tesla reaches extreme scale is more going to be around how do they make their products affordable to practically everyone on Earth. And don't be surprised if we hear mention of supply chain and, more importantly, materials. After all, if Tesla wants to scale to extreme size, that means they're scaling to making extreme amounts of stuff, and in order to make extreme amounts of stuff, you need extreme amounts of stuff at the other end, so maybe there'll be some focus on this end as well. Without a doubt, the highest ratio of words to implications in this entire tweet is, quote, and AI, the second main subject relating to Tesla. We all know about this, full self-driving, solving a huge part of real-world AI. Next minute, this ends up in the Tesla humanoid robot, deploys at scale, learns new capabilities, gets more intelligent. Eventually, Tesla solves AGI, which is better than Zuck doing it. Next minute, slightly lower odds of AI wiping out all life on Earth. Maybe not intentionally, but potentially accidentally. So let's talk about how in the SpaceX and the Boring Company have anything to do with Masterplan Part 3, assuming it is Tesla's Masterplan and not Elon's. First, let's talk about SpaceX. For those of you who've been watching the channel for a while, you'll have heard my thoughts on this previously. It seems extremely obvious, but I do need to point it out. What the fuck does Tesla have to do with SpaceX? Why would SpaceX be involved in Tesla's third master plan? TeslaBot. That's it. TeslaBot. Why? TeslaBot is how you build a colony on Mars. TeslaBot is also, potentially, how you build a colony on the moon. But TeslaBot isn't just about colonizing other planets. It's also about helping Tesla achieve their goals on Earth of scaling to extreme size. I'm sure most people watching will recall Elon Musk thinking aloud multiple times along the lines of, is there a limit to the size of the global economy? Maybe not. Spoiler alert, the Tesla humanoid robot is how Tesla scales to extreme size by massively expanding the amount of available labor, driving the cost of their products down and producing them at absolutely obscene, extreme scales. In short, TeslaBot will not only allow Tesla to make way more stuff, but also massively drive the cost of said stuff down. And how does the Boring Company fit into this? Pretty simple, should be self-evident. If Tesla reaches extreme scale, that means there's going to be a metric shit ton, in fact an absolute fuckload of Tesla vehicles, including Tesla robotaxis on roads. That means extreme traffic. How do you solve extreme traffic? You go 3D, hence Boring Company. Tunnels underground, obviously that's how this ties into things. There are many synergies between the Musk companies. I think ultimately, if we really look over the long term, everything Elon Musk has ever done is actually geared at setting up a self-sustaining civilization anywhere, Earth, Mars, or beyond. You know what's really handy if you're planning on colonizing another planet, building a base on the moon, etc.? Tunnels, an underground base, the perfect solution. Rather than building out everything above ground and requiring a ton of materials, well actually many tons of materials, instead, why not build out your base predominantly underground so you don't actually need materials for structure. Instead, you just need to remove a little bit of stuff. If you're colonizing a planet, you're probably gonna need to be able to, generate energy, store energy and distribute said energy as well. And wouldn't it be a bonus if you could also provide some form of transportation, maybe electric vehicles? And now that I've shared my thoughts on the master plan part 3, let's see what the mainstream media has to say about Elon's latest tweet.
Let's shift over to the tech side of things. Tesla, solar power, many other Elon Musk ventures have been detailed in so-called master plans of years past. Elon now teasing his vision for the next step. That would be master plan part 3. And for more on that, let's bring in Yahoo Finance's Pras Subramanian. So Pras, what is included in this part 3 of his master plan? I know that he wants to kind of loop in the universes of the Boring Company and perhaps other ventures. Does that suggest maybe a holding company is coming soon?
Props to Yahoo Finance, for real. The fact that they're even aware that the idea of a holding company was ever discussed, let alone that it may be relevant to master plan part 3. Genuine round of applause. I am actually impressed.
Yeah, Brian, the future is sort of up in the air in that regard with a structural change possibly for Tesla. We'll see. But you mentioned part 1 and part 2, right? Part 1 is about building a low volume car that will scale up to a high volume car that'll eventually pay for operations. Part 2 is about developing a solar program with batteries and solar cells to kind of make a home charging situation, and also scale up on your self-driving and autonomous type of activity. Now, part 3 is about it's about mass industrialization, right? It's about scaling to extreme size, shifting humanity from fossil fuels, et cetera. Also talking about SpaceX, Tesla, and Boring Company. So that we're going to hear more about that structure, Brian, like those 3 companies kind of working together. But I think the big thing here is mass industrialization. Basically, how do you scale to extreme size? And it's sort of self-evident at this point, right? We look at what they've been doing at gigafactories, making everything, limiting suppliers and costs because you're making everything in-house. You're expanding to new factories like Shanghai, Berlin, Austin, maybe even a new factory in China. You're seeing them actually really ramp up from a scale point of view from, let's say, 1 million vehicles to possibly 2 million vehicles produced in the next year. We're also talking about, casting techniques. How do they build parts, more simpler, bigger parts, injecting the battery into the structure to make that a more structural part, but also a cheaper part to make. And then also we're talking about, the actual batteries themselves, acquiring the materials that you need to make them and not requiring a supplier like a Panasonic or a CATL to do that for you. One thing I want to note, Brian, is as Adam Jonas at Morgan Stanley also kind of highlighted some things that he wanted to hear more about. In addition to this, how does SpaceX, the Boring Company, and Tesla work together? He wants to hear about, are we going to hear about, aviation and eVTOLs or electric vertical takeoff and landing vehicles? It's, because Tesla, that's sort of in their wheelhouse of making vehicles and things like that actually use batteries and motors. So why not apply that in a aircraft situation? And lastly, AI, robots, all the other sci-fi stuff that Elon has sort of been teasing and talking about. Are we going to hear more about that when Elon finally reveals that master plan 3?
Make no mistake, we certainly will be hearing a lot about both AI and AGI. I'd love you guys and girls to join the discussion. Let me know in the comments below. What do you think will be in Master Plan 3? Is it going to be the potential of a holding company? Maybe even Tesla considering making an acquisition of the Boring Company? If it's in the master plan, company's probably worth maybe a couple of billion at absolute most. Why doesn't Tesla just acquire the Boring Company? Will we learn more about the synergies between these companies on Earth and beyond? How big of a role will Tesla bot play in Master Plan Part 3? And how do you think the stock market in particular, Wall Street stock analysts, will react to Tesla's Master Plan Part 3? And did you guys and girls enjoy me being wrong as much as I did? P.S. I'd like to formally apologise to Morgan Stanley and Adam Jonas in particular for ever suggesting that you guys and girls would be wrong about anything at all to do with Tesla. In this particular case, I was definitely wrong. I promise I will never ever suggest you're wrong about anything to do with Tesla again, unless you say something I think is completely fucking wrong, and yeah, I'm still going to keep pointing that stuff out. It's naive to expect to have a perfect track record, but I do want to be clear. I do apologise. I'm sorry. You were right. I was wrong. That's embarrassing, but it's a fact. And just finally, if you guys and girls would like instant access to over 100 exclusive Q&A videos, loads of other exclusive content, plus instant access to my up-to-date Tesla price targets, bear case, base case, bull case, and hyper case, you know where to find it by now. Click the card in the corner or the link in the pinned comment to join Patreon, and I'll see you over there. I'm Stephen Mark Ryan. This is Solving the Money Problem, and I love you all. Hey guys, thanks for watching. If you enjoy these videos, there's a bunch of ways you can support the channel, access exclusive content and perks, and get some free stocks and crypto. Check out the links in the pinned comment below. You can get 2 free stocks with WeBull, a free stock with Stake, free Bitcoin with Coinbase, and free Bitcoin with BlockFi, and the BlockFi Bitcoin Rewards credit card. You can also pick up some Tesla, Elon, and investment themed merch in the merch store. If you want to take it to the next level, join thousands of members on Patreon to gain exclusive access to over 100 Q&A videos, loads of exclusive content, exclusive access to my up-to-date 10-year Tesla stock price targets, and even access my Tesla valuation model at the investor support level and above. So check out the links in the pinned comment below, and thanks for your support. And if you're still watching, you're awesome. I read every single comment on this channel and I really appreciate your feedback. So if you've got any thoughts on today's video, questions, comments, or suggestions for a new video, let me know in the comments below. Check the cards on screen now to browse the merch store, join Patreon, or watch the next video.